Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my weekly review of Fear the Walking Dead. This week we've seen Season 1, Episode 2, entitled So Close, Yet So Far. And, I was actually really, I was impressed by this episode, I'll say it. If you guys have seen my review of the pilot episode of The Walking Dead last Sunday, as well as probably my video talking about the web series just a day or two ago, I think, you'll know that my reaction to the pilot was a little bit underwhelmed and lukewarm are words you could use to describe how I felt about it. But over the past week, I would say that my feelings towards the pilot episode have warmed up quite a bit, or at least a fair amount. And I was a little bit more eager for this episode than I was for the pilot. So my expectations going into this were a little bit more excited and stuff like that. So really, what probably helped with this episode, besides it just being a superior episode, was probably the fact that I'm just in a better place about this show in general now. So yeah. But hey, anyone notice I shaved my mustache, by the way? I don't know. People I know are kind of divided on me doing that. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, I'm just going for something different. But anyway, enough about me. Of course, a lot of you don't really want to hear about my personal life, right? Because my mustache and the status of my face is very, very personal and boring. So let's get into it. Like I said, this episode I think was an improvement on last week's pilot, even though I do like the pilot more than I did originally. This week's definitely really brought it into full perspective on what the series is going to be, on what we all think this series is going to be. And this episode really did a good job about hitting that part home, about showing us what the goal of the series is. This is supposed to be like the beginning of the world we see in the regular The Walking Dead show. And now with this week's episode, with So Close Yet So Far, we definitely get that feeling now. With last week's, it was more about setting up the characters and like laying bricks, laying a foundation. And now we really see what this foundation has turned into, what this building, in a way, for example, is. So I really think they are doing a good job at setting up this world. And please give me a second while I let my cat out. I've done this before. I apologize. But sorry about that, guys. So this episode is great with that. I know this episode wasn't better than the pilot because there was a little bit more zombies. It just felt like a more intense, a more interesting episode in general. And these characters are starting to click with me a little bit now. My favorite so far is probably Travis, but the other characters I'm starting to not mind as much now. But so there's a lot to talk about this episode. There's this more and more news going around on the show, about people being shot like 12 times and still not going down, or just still moving or something like that. And we see society just really coming, almost nearing a breaking point. And we see riots, we see protests trying to happen, and we see looters running around just knocking shit over, excuse my language. And just really it's like a end of the world scenario. People are just starting to freak out, and other people are just trying not to care about anything, so they're not going to follow the rules or the laws anymore. And that part of the show is something I was really looking forward to. That was probably the thing I was most looking forward to with this, and as I said, it looks like they're doing it quite well, based on this episode. And we see Travis, Cliff Curtis does a good job of selling the concerned father type of character. And I really liked him in this episode because, he goes off to find his son, Chris, and as well as his ex-wife, Liza. I forget if it's Eliza or Liza. I don't know. I think they call her Liza, so I'll call her Liza. But, so he headed out into the city, or he wasn't going to go into the city at first, but of course, Chris wasn't at home. He was wandering into the city, and he was sort of joined up for this protest. And really the way I understood it was people who didn't really think, who didn't fully realize the whole situation of who was gunned down and why and things like that. Unless I misheard that, please correct me in the comments if I took that the wrong way. But so he kind of joins with that protest, and of course Travis races, to try and find him. And please excuse my eyes, okay? I don't have a black eye, okay? I didn't hit on anyone's girlfriend or anything like that. That's just the way my eyes kind of are. I don't really get a lot of sleep, and I just don't. I probably should drink more water, really. And with that, that's just kind of what happens. You get bags under your eyes and things like that. But I've had them for I don't know how many years now, so I'm kind of used to it. But other people might not be. But don't be concerned. I'm okay. No, high temperature fever or anything like that. And we also see. I'm gonna jump around. I jump around in my reviews. Okay, I kind of go back and forth. I backtrack. I go left, right, forward, back, up. That's just the way it is. Okay. And so we also see that Alicia, who I really actually like seeing on the show now, because the actress who plays Alicia is actually Lexa on The 100. And by the way, I only have 2 episodes left of season 2 of The 100, so you'll be seeing a general review on that pretty soon. Very excited to catch up on that. But so it's very cool to see her, and she's not like the greatest actress on the show or anything like that, but I do like seeing her. I think she is. I don't know if I should say she isn't the greatest actress on the show. Maybe it's just the role that isn't so good yet. Her character's not written the greatest at this point. But she's great on The 100, so she definitely has the capabilities of being one of the best the show has, and I'm sure we'll see her develop more as it goes on and such. So, and we see her, she goes off to find her boyfriend. When I first seen this, I saw he was going to be already turned into a walker. We all kind of knew what was going on when he wasn't texting her back last week when they were supposed to meet at the beach. We all kind of seen this one coming, but right now he just has very, very high fever and he's burning up. We'll probably get another scene where she tries to go over to his house again. We'll probably see him as a walker next week or within the next couple episodes, I'd imagine. But Alicia tries to take care of him, and Madison and Nick and Travis and stuff like that are kind of aware of whatever is going on, what it is doing to people, whereas Alicia isn't. So she tries, with all her willpower to help her boyfriend as much as she can. But at the end of the episode, she becomes more aware of what's actually happening. So that should be interesting to see how that changes things for her next week. And one of the biggest scenes we got in this episode too, besides what was going on in the city with Travis and his other family, this is probably the biggest scene in the episode, to be honest. Madison going back to the school because Nick was having he's a drug addict, and when he do that for so long, he eventually developed obviously an addiction, but also you develop a need to consume it, or whatever you want to say, to have that chemical in your system, and you develop a dependence on it, and so that's what was happening to him there. And it seems like he was exaggerating a little bit just to keep Alicia at home, but so Madison did have to go out and find him some pills, so that he could take to sort of bring himself back, because obviously there's going to be no long-term better fix for him at this point. Rehab isn't really in the ballpark anymore. So there's that. And of course, when Madison was out of school, we ran into Tobias again, and they were kind of not running around the school, but going around the school. I really like the eerie feeling of how empty the school was, just that really creepy, sort of isolated, secluded feeling. I like that. And I was worried for Tobias here, but we'll get to that in a second. They're stocking up on canned food from the cafeteria and stuff like that, which is actually a pretty good idea. And Madison actually, sorry about that. Madison actually, gives Tobias his knife back that she had put in her drawer from the pilot episode. So I'm okay. Well, before I get further about what happened in the episode, one critique I still have about this show. I'm sure that could probably change as it goes on and things get more and more extreme. I still think some of the characters seem a little bit too calm in these situations, just with, on one hand, I'm happy that Madison and Travis, are developing, these instincts are showing these instincts to, get out of the city, find the desert, where there aren't many people who could attack you, And so I appreciate that, but on the other hand, at the same time, it's you would be freaking out in these situations, okay? You would not be calm, you would not be as collected as, especially Madison seems to be. I mean, the Travis character is a little bit better in this episode about, kind of freaking out and, losing it, with the situation he's in, which is understandable. But with Madison especially, she just seems a little bit too calm, like she's seen this before, which she obviously hasn't. That's the exact opposite point of the show. So I think she should be freaking out a bit more. Again, that's not really on the fault of the actress, Kim Dickens. It's more so how they're telling her to act. They should be telling her, just to not necessarily scream her head off, but just let out a little bit of a fight, out there, once in a while. But anyway, so that's only one critique, and I'm sure that could change with time, like I said. So it's still good though. It's not a big deal. It's just like a gripe I have at this point. But we hear the metal detector go off, and we hear this thing on the intercom. We hear this breathing and grunting. It's pretty cool, and we see Artie, who I think was the principal of the school, superintendent. I think principal, yeah, because she got his keys from the principal's office. So yeah, okay. But we see him. He's definitely turned into a walker, which we all kind of seen coming because they kind of showed a little bit of that in the previews. But it was still. It's still kind of cool to see someone that close to them, already like that. We know what that would do to someone. And again, she seemed too calm because they had probably known each other for quite a few years. So the way she handled this, again, was a little bit too held back, I think. But, Madison is trying to talk to him, and even after she's seen how Calvin was last week, she's still trying to talk to him and things like that. Tobias actually steps with his little pocket knife type of thing, and he does some little stabs to Artie, and then Artie, being a fully turned walker, a lot of these walkers are going to be a lot more fresh than what they are in The Walking Dead now, so they have more strength in them. And obviously Tobias is just a kid too, probably no older than me really, and probably a year or two, give or take, and he sends Tobias falling down the stairs with him. I'm kind of wondering if Tobias was scratched or anything here, but they didn't really show that. And I was really worried about Tobias here because I already got close quite a few times to biting him, and I thought we were actually going to see that happen, and really push Madison to do something. But I was really with this scene because Madison takes her sweet ass time to grab the fire extinguisher and come down there to help Tobias. And she's just taking almost 30 seconds, looking at 30 seconds or whatever it was, looking in her pockets to try and find something. And then she takes another 5 or 10 seconds to get the fire extinguisher. It seems like she should have rushed a little bit more, But and then she hits Artie in the head with fire extinguisher, and then she kind of delays a little bit too long, but she still manages to beat his head in and appears to actually kill him. Because of course the only way you can kill a zombie in most fiction is shooting him in the head through the brain and stuff, or massive trauma to the head. So that appeared to work. And Artie, not Artie, of course Artie's not fine, but Tobias appears to be fine. He kind of refused to go with Madison, with the family to join the rest of them, and I think that may be a mistake that will cost him his life. I was surprised I got out of that situation with Artie, but now I think when we see Tobias again, it's not going to be so good for him. I don't know if he'll actually be turned into a walker, or if we'll see him swarmed or something, I don't know, but I don't see Tobias surviving for very much longer at this point, which is unfortunate because I did kind of like him, So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Though I don't know for sure, of course. And you see that Travis, Chris, and Liza, kind of rush to the city. They avoid the riot. The riot police and stuff like that, the SWAT, and then they find the shop, the haircut place, which we see in the trailer for the show. And we see them join up with the Salazar family. The Salazar family lets them in. The wife in particular, but the husband is kind of the one in control. The family is kind of like the head. And they have a daughter too, and so they're closed up in the shop. When we find out there's only like one way in and out, that's the front door. So I'm sure that's gonna be a problem later, for sure. And that could very well kill you in a zombie apocalypse. But most of our characters will probably make it out there. But still, it's not a great situation for them to be in. And Travis thanks them, and again, I like the panic that Travis is showing with this. And I like the phone call he and Madison had. Kim Dickens had a really good performance in the scene. Just really finally breaking down and showing some reaction to what happened. I think she should have shown a little bit more of this, and while things were actually happening. But maybe she's just one of those people who really holds it in. So I guess I kind of get it, but I still think she should have reacted more when everything was actually going down. But we already talked about that a couple times, so she was nonetheless great in this scene. As she really wanted Travis to come home, and she was just crying at the same time. And she comes out of the bathroom, and Travis explained to her they're held up in that for the night. And she comes out of the bathroom. Alicia sees her, asking her what's wrong. She won't really respond, and then we see the neighbor we'd seen earlier attacking the lady across the street who was holding that little birthday party or whatever it was. And so Alicia sees the first time what's actually going on, and yeah. And the episode ends with, of course, the theme music, which I really do like for this show. It's kind of like a version of the music they have at the beginning of the episode. So I really like that. And, yeah, we just see everything just breaking down, just fire, more loitering, not loitering, just more, chaos going around the whole city. So I really like that shot. Just some really nice shots and visuals here, so yeah. So yeah, overall, I think this is a very, very good episode. Not just by first season standards, I think this is a very, very solid episode of any Walking Dead show. So yeah, definitely the best so far. Of course, we've only gotten 2 episodes, but I think it's definitely built on the pilot and expanded. And I'm almost pretty much sold on the show. I think I may very well be sold on the show at this point. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Of course, you can add me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, Movie Pilot, and look for me on SpoiledDead.com. I'll catch you guys next time, most likely to review The Strain. And, yeah. Also, Wes Craven passed away. Very big loss to the horror community. I may do a video talking about that in a few days, I'm not sure. But either way, rest in peace. Big loss, horror legend. And, peace.